So you're watching this video in reverse. The clip I'm shooting now is after the day is over, but it's gonna go in the beginning of the video because I just wanted to get out and get moving and not do like an intro type thing when I started out the day. I just wanted to say, one of the things you guys don't get to see, which is something, you know, because I don't always film it, door knocking's not always easy. And especially when you do a lot of driving, you know, I'm human too. I don't always have the courage or I'm in the right frame of mind that I want to knock on people's doors. And sometimes I've gone out and I drive all over the place. I'll, you know, drive around for like 2 hours and I won't knock on any doors. And some days I get, you know, a few people that say no, or I'll knock like 6, 7 different doors and no one will answer. So in between all these clips, a lot of the times videos like this take probably, I mean, sometimes they take all day to film. They take several hours of driving, networking with people, digging, scouting, you name it. Just a lot of effort. So you don't get to see all the mundane stuff in between. I try to keep it as real as possible, but I want to do more vlog style type stuff and just force myself to start showing more of the journey and the process, even if I don't feel like it, you know, just to be honest, like when, you know, like I fail or, you know, things don't turn out as I hoped they would, you know, just to kind of put that into context. But today, after a lot of perseverance, it did work out, but I really worked for the stuff I found. So I hope you enjoy the video, guys. It begins in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so here's the scoop. It's been a long time since I've had the camera on, but been a little bit rough going. So you saw the house I showed you there. It was an amazing spot. The lady that lived there was real nice, but it was extensively landscaped and remodeled, and they had all kinds of awesome work done to the house and in the lawn, and to give it that old rustic feel. And unfortunately, the entire yard was redone at some point. It was all thick clay on top, and there was nothing old there except for maybe 1 or 2 stray targets. I found an old shotgun head stamp. That's probably the oldest thing I found. I found 3 modern pennies. And it's a major bummer about that property because apparently down at the end of the road, I was in a very rural area. Down at the end of the road used to be a stagecoach stop off of one of the old main roads that went through there. So that was a bummer. I drove another 15 minutes to a spot that it was kind of like a maybe before. I stopped at a yard sale that had a lot of old stuff. It was last year, and the lady said she would talk it over with her husband if I could detect there. It was one of the, let's say, top 3 on my list of places I wanted to detect within an hour from me, so that tells you a lot. And unfortunately, they didn't want me to. They had a septic system put in or something. They had work done to it, and they just didn't, I don't know, he didn't like the idea of me digging holes because they were trying to get the yard back to normal or something. So I'm at a permission now that I just got in an old neighborhood that I had knocked in the past, and I had to put my 4-ways on. I'm off the side of the street where I'm not sure if you're supposed to park, and there was a car behind me. So anyway, I'm in a permission now where I knocked in the past to turn them off. There's no one behind me, and I think I knocked this before when the people were home, but I think they just didn't answer because I don't think the guy can hear really well. I went around to the side door after knocking on the front. Nobody answered for like 3 minutes, so I went around the side door and rung the doorbell, and he answered. So I'll show you the place here in a minute. We're gonna hunt. I think we're gonna find some good stuff. I've been wanting to hunt this place, so we'll see what happens. Stand by. I definitely think we're gonna be some goodies and buy this little landscaping bench. Now you can see out to the corner. Apart from where they uprooted a tree and did some pipes over here, this all looks original on this old street. And first good signal I had here, thought it was going to be a really modern penny, only barely a ½ inch down under the soft soil here. And it's a 1962 penny, so for that to only be ½ an inch deep, I think we're going to be locked onto some goodies here in a minute. Stand by, it's coming. The next solid signal reading an 84. When I popped my shovel, I had an ant's nest. You can see the imprint here about 3 inches down. 1965 dime. So 1962 and 1965 for the first coins. Now there's not a lot of signals, but there's not a lot of iron in here. It's a really nice preserved side yard here. So it's a good sign right by the driveway. Figured I'd start in this corner here. We'll keep moving. That other penny was right there. Okay, I'm hoping I'm onto an old penny here. I only went up about 1.5 feet from that other hole, which is right there. I came right here, You can hear it with the pinpointer. You can see the darkened soil right there. It's only about 1.5 inches down, and it appears to be an old penny. And it's definitely going to be a weedy. It's got that old look to it. Yep, I can see the 1 cent on the back. Let me take a look at it for 1 second. We'll see if we can clear the date up there. Okay, so it's a little bit crusty. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it on there until it dries up a little bit, but I believe it's a 1918. Something from the teens, 191. I thought at first 16, but I think 1918. So if that's the case, 100 years old on the button. Awesome. We'll keep looking around this driveway. Okay, well, I probably should have done this live. There was still a signal up above it, and it rang in a little bit lower, like 77, so I wasn't sure if it was going to be a spill. I just went about a 1/2 inch down, right next to that 1918 penny, and that must have been a super old spill because I just flicked out an Indian head penny. Now, I don't want to really rub this one too much. I'll clean that off more when I get home. That is amazing. Looks like an old Indian head and weedy spill. And only a 1/2 inch down in this soft soil. That is amazing. But since the wheat's 1918, this will probably be from the early 1900s. Most likely like a 1905 or 6 or 7, something like that. But if it's from the 1800s, that'll be a bonus. We'll keep searching. So there you have the two pennies cleaned up a bit. The wheat penny, surprisingly, is actually more corroded. Normally the teens wheaties actually have a nice smooth surface on them. But you can see the 1903 Indian came out very clear. Very cool to get those two in the same area. I'm pretty certain this was an old pocket spill. They were both about a 1/2 inch down and only about 2 inches apart. It's a sweet little coin spill right there. Looks like most of the old stuff's going to be shallow here. I had a nickel signal almost right on top out by the road. I thought for sure it was just going to be some can slaw. And looks like I have a flattened penny. Now it rang up lower than they normally do, so maybe it isn't. Huh. I think I can see some lettering around the edge, maybe really faint there. That's pretty cool though. There's definitely lettering on there. Alright, let's see if I can clean that up and make any sense out of it. That's pretty cool. You know what, guys? I think this might be a first for me. This is pretty interesting. Waiting for that truck to drive by. Listen to it under the coil. 55 solid. And from the edges of it, I actually think it goes this way. I actually think it's a flattened nickel because it's heavier than what a penny would be. That's pretty bizarre, but I think that is like a railroad flattened nickel. You can see it's thicker than the flattened pennies I normally get. And it's right below that nickel notch. It's about the weight of a nickel. So that's pretty sweet. I think I got me a flattened nickel. Not a war nickel. It's definitely not a silver one, but I think it's an older Jefferson. I think you can see right there. Look on the right side there. I think that's the right side of the Monticello, and it runs around like this. So if you flip it over, that would be where Jefferson was. That's pretty cool. All right, I'll quit rambling and we'll keep hunting. I'll clean that up later. So here's a 1964 nickel I dug up next to what I think is a flat nickel, and you can see they both have a sort of purple tone to them. In the Tennessee clay, the nickels sometimes turn purple actually. So we're going to go ahead and weigh a normal 1964 nickel, and that one's coming in at 4.7 grams. So let's see if this nickel is anywhere close to that 4.7, or what I think is a nickel. 4.7 on the button. So I would say that's enough to confirm it in my mind. Got a smashed nickel here, and I'm pretty sure it's a Jefferson. I could tell from some of the lettering on the edge. You can't really see it real well. Right up around there is a little bit. So that's probably an old Jefferson nickel from the 1940s or 50s if I had to guess, considering what else I was finding in that section of the yard. Pretty cool find. Okay, so I'm doing this little side strip on the opposite end. And I had a banging coin signal right on top. And I figured I was going to do this live, then I was thinking, no, it's probably just a modern penny or something. So I just kind of plopped up under the ground there And look at this big edge poking out. I don't know what this is. I don't know if it's a token or what. It's a casino token. Grand Casino. Gulfport. $1. A $1 casino token. That is really cool. It is huge. It's like the size of a British cartwheel penny. Look how thick that is. That is sweet right there. Alright, let's keep on the lookout. We'll clean that up later. That casino token turned out awesome. It says $1 gaming token, not legal tender, Grand Casino Gulfport, Mississippi. $1. Oh, I didn't even see that when I was cleaning it up. It's got a date of 2000 on it, so not very old. Acceptable only at Grand Casino Gulfport, Mississippi. $1. This thing is thick and heavy. Tell you what, let's weigh it while I got my scale out here. Why not? But yeah, this is like one of those huge cartwheel pennies they find over in Britain. I've always wanted to find a cartwheel penny. That's probably about the closest, as close as I'm going to get. 21.7 grams. Yeah, that thing ain't no joke. Alrighty, back to the hunt. Okay, I think the front lawn is filled dirt. You can see it's slightly mounded up kind of in the center there. There's really no old signals in that section at all. All the signals I'm getting are on this side by the road. And I had a signal coming in a little bit higher than a pull tab here. And it kind of looks flattened like that other thing I found. But it's heavy, so I think that's just a weird shaped piece of lead, but that's definitely old and oxidized. You can see how white it is. At first I thought it was going to be like another smashed nickel, except like a silver war nickel or something, but that's definitely a piece of lead right there. An old piece though. We'll keep working this section over here. I can't believe, I don't know why everything's so shallow. It's all like an inch down. Crazy. Okay, I started into the backyard and got an 80 signal. About 2 inches down I got a penny here. Let's see if it's old. And that one is not old, just a memorial. Looks pretty crusty. I thought we were onto a wheat. But, oh no. Do I see that right? Oh no, for a second I thought it was a 59, but no, it's low relief. It's actually 1982. I found a can back here, about 4 inches down, so I don't know, maybe they did something to this. Hopefully not. We'll keep looking. My hopes aren't up super high in this one, but you never know. It's been about 5 minutes. The backyard is extremely barren for targets other than some iron that I can hear with the detector, but check this out. Shallow signal. Probably no more than 2 inches down tops, maybe even less than that. But it's coming in that silver coin range, and it's really shallow. But since the other stuff was shallow here, let's see if the pinpointer will read it. If not, that's actually a good sign. This could be a shallow silver dime. Seems about dime sized. Okay, well, we're not reading it like that, so let's check it out with the detector. Seems to be kind of like right about there-ish. Yeah, it doesn't quite want to read it. And I have it turned on. So this may actually be a really shallow silver coin. So let's just kind of go like this here. Do that. We'll see if we got it here. Yep, it's right in the bottom there. I see it. It's not silver. It's bigger than a quarter. I don't know what that is. Is that a coin or a token? Oh, maybe it is a clad quarter. Yeah, a clad quarter. Oh well, that was still a good signal. That definitely looks like one of the older ones. It's got to be late 60s, maybe 70s. Yeah, 1965. On to the next target. Well, I've come to the conclusion that this is fill because along this edge in the front, there's deep overload signals, or like they ran pipes or something through here. and this was completely unexpected. I got a penny signal right on the edge of the curb, real shallow. I thought, here it comes, just a modern copper penny from like the 70s or early 80s. Check this out in the hole. I think I found a silver ring that somebody probably dropped while they, wow. Look at that. Somebody probably dropped this when they were walking down the sidewalk. That is sparkly right there. That's really cool. Alrighty. That's a nice looking ring there. Well, I will clean it up later and check the markings. But man, I'm happy to find this. I haven't been finding a lot of jewelry over the last year and a half. But man, it's starting to pick up again this year. We'll take it. Let's try to find the next one. Nice. Looky, looky, what a beautiful ring. Haven't found one like this in quite a while. That is awesome. On the inside, it has the 925 mark, which is upside down there, and it has the letter A on the band on that side. Let's go ahead. We got our diamond tester here. Now, I don't think this is real, because it's set in silver, and if that's a real diamond, that'd be worth one chunk of change. Several thousand, if not $10,000. But I got the lamp battery on and ready to go. So let's go ahead and put that on there and see if it's gonna read up into that diamond range. Oh man, it's not looking good. Alright, so that is not a real diamond, but it's definitely not cut glass, so that's going to be cubic zirconia in there. That's a beauty though. Nice ring to add to the collection. Alright, I'm glad I slugged it out in kind of the center portion of this yard here. Even though there's next to no signals other than iron, I got a nickel tone down deep there, and I don't know what I found, but it's really cool looking, so let's take it over in the shade. Take a look. What is this? I've never seen anything like it before. It's kind of like square shaped. I have absolutely no idea. Got some kind of crazy pattern on it there. That is really weird. Alright, I'll get that cleaned up when I get back to my car, and we'll take a look at that. That could be something really good. It doesn't seem super old though. If I guess, this would probably be no older than around World War II-ish, but we'll see. So look at that. Man, that is crazy. Just got done brushing it off a little bit. I don't know what this came off of, but that is super cool. So you guys are going to have to do some research and help me out on this one. I have no idea what this is off of. That is one of my coolest relics of the day for sure. Okay, so this signal is probably going to be junk or a zinc penny. Because it's shallow in the mud and easy to dig, we're going to pop it live right next to these little ant hills here. So let's get the signal right there. I love hunting in mud like this. This is the type of places to find if you want a jewelry hunt. It's right down here. Oh, that is, I was right on that one. It's a zinc penny, but there is not much left of that coin. Toasty, toasty. But cool live dig nonetheless. I love signals like that. Searching the backyard, other than that clad quarter earlier and two modern pennies next to the driveway, these are the only signals I've been able to find. So it's a shame that there's not much back here. Beautiful place. But next to no signals back here in this section, which is really surprising. Not sure what the deal is, but 90% of the good stuff I found was in that little patch up there between that tree and the road there, and maybe a little bit further down. But we'll give it a little bit longer back here, and I'm about to pack it in. Okay, so I came in the very back corner of the property. You can kind of see in between that tree right there, that pole is kind of where their property ends right here, about where this little tree is. So maybe this means I need to try to get permission at this place. But right down here, had a solid signal down in these rocks, like an old driveway. Pulled out a penny. I thought for sure it was going to be modern. And here it's a weedy. So I'm going to work this back section good. And if I find more over here, maybe someday when those people are home, I'll knock here. But that place might even be vacant right now. There's nothing over there. Nothing out on the porch, no vehicles, nothing. But wasn't expecting that. We'll get the date here in a second for you. Date on that weedy is 1946. This is like the third one of these I found in the last month. Still in the backyard here, got a big lead wheel weight. I don't know why I keep finding these all of a sudden. Crazy. Okay, only about 4 inches away from that wheel weight. I had a low tone and just pulled out a nickel. It's 1964. And that's like the worst coin to find for a nickel, to be able to try and date finds in a certain area. Because in 1964, no joke, I think they literally minted like 1 billion nickels. So you still find these in your pocket change today, and like tons of them. So it's hard to tell if you find one from 1964 if it's been down there only, 5 to 10 years in this condition, or if it's been down there since the 60s. It's like almost impossible to tell except for wear and tear. This one still has a little bit of the surface left, so probably been down there about 10 years. But yep, on to the next. Okay, so right by the side of the road I just found me this smartphone. It is a Samsung, but that's all I can tell, man. This thing has been run over one too many times. Yeah. Not every day you find a phone though. Okay, running out of time before dark here. I had a rough time knocking. I knocked like 5 different doors and people weren't home in another area, so I'm headed home. I'm doing this tiny little lawn. What you see is pretty much all of it. And I found a wheat penny right there, which I got right here, and other than that, there's not much here. I got like 2 copper pennies, maybe 3, and that's it. And there's a couple surface zinc pennies I skipped, so that's about it. But hey, check out these roots. Pretty cool how they're growing up over the ground. Goes the whole way up there too. You can see it split the sidewalk. But pretty cool. I like seeing that. But not many signals here. Obviously a little lawn like this, there's a tree uprooted, a big one right there. So over the years, a lot of groundwork, and not much here, but we got us one weedy. And there's a look at the house I just hunted. Not much room there in the front. And like I said, some groundwork there filled in where a tree was uprooted and some lines and stuff. So I got the one weedy, like 2 copper memorials, and just some couple trash bits. That was it. This neighborhood they started building and developing this neighborhood, I believe, in the early 1920s, somewhere around in there, but they were built pretty quickly. A lot of the homes in this neighborhood were built in the 1920s and 1930s. And as you go up the road, the homes get more expensive, and it kind of makes like a rainbow the way the streets are. It's pretty cool. So the rich people were on the top, and the poor people lived down low. That's just the way it's developed here over the years. But anyway, that was what I found. So I just pulled up alongside those people, and I'm waving and kind of pointing down like this to try to, let them know what's going on there. And I noticed the guy in the passenger's seat, he just kind of nodded like this, like he knew what was going on. So I'm not sure. He actually looked like a mechanic, like he had one of them dark blue jackets on or something, but I couldn't tell. But apparently they knew what was going on. But yeah, that muffler was just hanging there. It looked like it was ready to get tore off, but they were driving it anyway. I did what I could. So just a brief recap on today's hunt. I'm definitely glad I got out there. Man, I really had to work for it, but had a good time and ended up with some goodies. Got 1 clad quarter, 2 dimes, 2 nickels. I put the smushed one up there to be funny. We got 6 pennies, 1 zinc, the rest copper. We got that coal relic there, which I'm not even sure what it came off of. The casino token, the 1903 Indian in with the 1918 wheat penny. Did find a 1946 wheat penny. And of course that amazing ring. And then at that last spot, the only 3 targets I found that were not trash were 2 memorial pennies and 1 sort of toasty 1945 wheat penny. So that was my hunt today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Take care and happy treasure hunting.